But I'm going to show you a really easy way to clean your eyeshadow palettes and make them look brand new. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to properly clean, sanitize, disinfect your makeup kit. This video is definitely focused on makeup artists. If this is what you do, whether it be a side job or a full-time job, you definitely need to know how to properly clean your products. But of course, you can use these tips and advice that I'm going to be giving in today's video for your own personal makeup collection as well. I do want to start off by saying that being a makeup artist is not just about learning how to apply makeup on others and which products to use and techniques to use. It's also knowing how to properly clean and sanitize your kit and ensure that your products are disinfected and sanitary to use on other people. It is your responsibility as an artist to make sure that you are doing all the proper and necessary steps to, like I said, ensure that you're using clean products on clients. You never want to be responsible for giving someone an infection or anything like nasty like that can really affect your reputation, and it's just so important. Being sanitary is very, very, very important to me. I take it very seriously. I always have. It's something that, especially now, being in the middle of a pandemic, I'm taking even more seriously than I was before. I know when coronavirus started to get a little bit more serious, but we were still working, I got like really paranoid and was cleaning my products way more than I even was before, and just being extra careful. And then when we finally got the stay-at-home order, I literally spent that entire first day ripping my kit apart, wiping every single thing down, disinfecting every little thing possible because I was just so like scared. So yeah, I take it very seriously, and you guys should too. Like I said, it's part of being a makeup artist. You definitely have to know how to do this. So yeah, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you different products you can use to sanitize, how to sanitize certain products, and just some little tips and advice that I have for cleaning your kit. It's okay if your kit doesn't look like every product is brand new. Like your makeup is going to stain, especially foundations. As much as you wipe those bottles down, there's still going to be foundation stains. There's still going to be concealer stains. That's okay. You know, it's, for example, you can have a shirt that has a permanent stain on it. It doesn't mean that it's not clean. You could have just took it out of the wash and maybe the stain just doesn't come out. It doesn't mean it's not clean. So I do want to say that because, and the only reason why I'm mentioning this is because a couple of weeks ago I got a comment on one of my videos saying that my products looked disgusting and she would never let me touch her face with them, and that I should really clean my products better. And I just want to say, my products are clean, okay? And I know for a fact they are, but if you're a working makeup artist, of course your products are going to look used. Your products are going to look loved. You know, especially if you have those favorite products you're reaching for every client, yeah, they're bound to get stained. Doesn't mean that they're not clean, doesn't mean that you haven't wiped them down. It's just some stains are harder to get out than others. So it's not like your kit has to look absolutely perfect. It really comes down to making sure like what's inside the product is clean and sanitary, but also you do want to wipe down the outside of the products as well. So I'm going to stop rambling and let's just get started. Okay, so starting off, I'm just going to mention some things that you should definitely have in your kit when it comes to cleaning your products. Well, first things first, you gotta clean yourself. So make sure that you definitely have hand sanitizer. It is so important. Apply this as much as you can just to make sure and ensure that your hands are clean. I also like to carry with me wet ones. You can get them in like the small little packs as well if you don't want to carry this like big thing around, but this is antibacterial hand wipes. And these are scented, so they smell a little bit better. So this is really good. And sometimes I'll even use these to wipe down, you know, random things around me just to ensure that they're clean. Or I'll use just regular Lysol wipes. These are sanitizing wipes that you can use to wipe down countertops, like if you're getting ready to set up at a venue. So yeah, I just use these to clean the surfaces that I'm going to be working off of. You're also going to want brush cleaner. This brush cleaner is actually not the MAC one. It is the Namies brand, but you can get Cinema Secrets, Namies, Perrins, Spirit. There are so many different brush cleaners out there. You want something that's quick drying and is going to allow you to quickly clean your brushes and disinfect them, but also allow you to get back to work right away. So yeah, I just put mine in here because it's like a pour top, but you can put it in a spray bottle, whatever you like. I just keep my brush cleaner in here. I need to refill mine. I have a huge thing of it in my closet, but yeah, I'm just gonna use what's left in here. And you're also going to want alcohol. I keep this in a like steel little spray bottle. I got this on Friends Beauty. And I keep 70% alcohol in here. 70% is really important. I know a lot of people think the higher the percentage, the better it is, the more it will sanitize, and that's actually false. If you are using like 99% alcohol, it's not actually going to sanitize the way 70% alcohol will. The higher percentage alcohols just dry too quickly and don't have time to actually penetrate the products and actually kill germs. So 70% is what you're going to want to use to actually sanitize your creams, your powders, and all of that. But there's also products such as Beauty So Clean. I'll put a little picture on the screen. And it is a spray that is meant for sanitizing makeup if you don't want to use alcohol. Also, since the pandemic started, I actually have a couple of these around the house. I just keep little containers with pre-soaked little towel, like paper towels, with alcohol. So I pre-soak little pieces of towel with alcohol. I use this to sanitize my phone screens, my computer screens, also to sanitize the outside of my products. There's just various different reasons I use this. So ever since coronavirus, like I said, I have these around the house and I just sanitize different surfaces whenever I feel like I need to, especially my phone, because phones get nasty. You definitely need to clean them. Remotes. But I also use these sometimes to even like clean the lens on my camera real quick. Like I said, clean the outside of products. So yeah, I just wanted to mention these little alcohol pads that I made. When it comes to cleaning your kit, a lot of times I'll just take a makeup wipe. Like these are just some standard makeup wipes. And what I will do is I will spray the wipe with alcohol. I'll get it pretty saturated with alcohol, and I like to literally wipe down every individual product. Try and get off those stains that you may have on there. All of these are wiped down, so there's not really much to clean. You want to make sure you also get the head of your foundation, so like the little spout. Like I purposely kept this one dirty so I can show you guys. So what I'll do is I'll literally just take this wipe and clean off the spout just so it looks nicer. There's obviously no way to like actually disinfect what's inside, but you shouldn't have to, especially if you're using a pump foundation, because it's not actually coming in contact with anyone's skin. You're just literally pumping it out of the products onto a palette or onto your hand, whatever, and applying it, you know, so what's actually inside the foundation should not be dirty. But yeah, as you can see, that just cleaned the nozzle, and there you go. So part of cleaning your kit is definitely going through, wiping everything down, making sure that you are actually getting the germs on the outside of the products off, because you're going to be touching these, and if you're touching dirty products and then touching everything else, it's just going to spread. So also it just looks more professional if, you know, your products are as clean as they can get. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, of course products are going to get stained. That's normal, but you know, try to get the makeup residue off. So once you've wiped everything down, you wiped the nozzles of your foundations and whatever has like a little pump, you're going to want to actually start sanitizing the products themselves. And honestly, you guys, it's so easy. So what you're going to want to do, like for example, here's the face powder. This one is already pretty clean, but I'm just going to wipe it down anyway. But yeah, what I do with face powders is I literally, what I do with any type of powder, bronzer, face powder, whatever, I just literally spray it with alcohol. I want to let it dry a sec. I'm not going to close it right away. I'm going to let it kind of dry up. I'm actually going to wipe it off the mirror because I don't want it to dry on the mirror. But yeah, just kind of let it dry and then you're good to go. That product is clean. Okay, so let's just say we sprayed down all the powders and all of that good stuff. Now we're going to go ahead and sanitize our eyeshadow palettes. So this is just a random eyeshadow palette. Again, I'm going to spray it down. Let's say I just use this on a job, so I really want to make sure it's clean. So I sprayed it down, but I'm going to show you guys a little tip because I don't know if this drives you guys crazy, but it does drive me crazy. Don't you hate when all eyeshadow gets on the outside of the pans? And I tried cleaning these with like Q-tips and it just becomes like annoying. It's just a nuisance. But I'm going to show you a really easy way to clean your eyeshadow palettes and make them look brand new. So this is what you do. After you sanitize the actual shadows themselves, you're going to want to take a flat surface. Like I'm just going to use this because it's right here. I'm going to take my little wipe. I'm going to wrap it around the surface. And I'm going to give it a quick spray again with alcohol just to ensure that it's actually going to disinfect. And what you're going to want to do is you want to take your little contraption here and run it along the eyeshadow palette. So by having the wipe on like a flat surface like this, it's not actually disrupting the shadows, it's just cleaning what's around the shadows. So like the plastic or the cardboard in this case, and it's just getting that eyeshadow off and making it look clean again. See, as you can see, that was all sitting around the shadows, and now it looks super clean, it looks super professional. And yeah, it just looks so much better. So I'm going to do it again on this palette just to show you guys. So this is the Norvina palettes. It's a little bit dirty. I mean, it's not too bad, but again, I'm just going to take my little thing here and there you go. Looks brand new again. So yeah, you can do this to eyeshadow palettes, blush palettes, whatever. It just cleans them. You can see all of that was sitting in the palette and now it's clean. So that's a little tip for you guys. If you are a cream foundation girl, just make sure, like this is a cream foundation palette. The way to stay sanitary with this is to just make sure that you always have a spatula on hand where you can literally just scoop the product out, put it onto a palette, and that way you're not actually disinfecting your creams, that you're just literally scooping out what you need and working from that. But I still do spray these, even though I just use a spatula to scrape it out, I still do spray these with alcohol, just like I did the powder. Okay, so moving on to lipsticks. This is not something that I typically do because my lipsticks are not in bullet form in my kit. I actually have them depotted into a palette. So I don't have to do this, but if you are a bullet lipstick girl and you have all bullet lipsticks in your kit, one thing I do suggest is just to avoid any chance of like, you know, giving someone an infection, either just use a spatula to scrape off the lipstick that you want, or use a clean brush, load up the brush, and then just use whatever's on the brush. But you're just applying the lipstick directly to the person's lips, which I don't recommend, but it happens. Sometimes you're rushing. What I do is I'm going to take my little alcohol pads that I have soaked in 70% alcohol, and I'm literally just going to take the lipstick and I'm going to disinfect. This is actually my own personal lipstick. This is not in my kit, but I'm just going to show you with my own personal lipstick. So I literally just wipe the surface off, and I use a clean spot for I use a clean part of the towel for every time I'm going to wipe it. You don't want to keep wiping back in the dirty area. You want to, like I said, use a clean spot. So this is pretty clean. I cleaned all sides, but just to be sure, I'm just gonna do a little bit more. And yeah, now it's clean. So that's how I would disinfect bullet lipsticks. And again, just make sure you wipe the outside as well. As far as lip liners and eyeliners go, I have this lip liner here, but again, this can apply to eyeliners. What I like to do, this is just how I do it. I take the cap off, I spray it with alcohol, get all sides, okay? Then I take a sharpener. I actually spray in the sharpener. I'm not even kidding. This is what I do. I don't know if that's necessary, but it's just what I do. And I sharpen. You want to sharpen to the point where it's like all new products, and you're not having any of the surface that you use on somebody else, if that makes any sense. So you just want like a new layer of product. And if you want to be extra careful, you can rub it on the alcohol little towel on all sides. But yeah, that is how I sanitize my lip liners and eyeliners. I just spray them down, I sharpen them, and then I spray them again, or use a little alcohol towel. The one thing that's gonna help keep you sanitary is having disposables. You wanna make sure you use disposables anytime you use mascara to make sure that you are keeping your mascara clean and sanitary. And if you need to do another coat of mascara, do not use the same disposable. Throw it out and get a new one anytime you need to dip back into your mascara. I typically use lip brushes when it comes to gloss. I'll just take some of the gloss, I'll put it on a clean palette, and then I'll just use a lip brush. But if you want to just dip directly into the gloss itself, please use disposables. And the same rule goes, when you use one disposable, don't dip it back in. Take a new one if you need to go back into the product. And I also love these little eyeliner disposable ones. So these are great for liquid liner. This is what I use to keep my eyeliner sanitary. I use these to apply liquid liner. I also use these to apply lash glue onto the person's eye if the lash isn't sticking right. So I love these. And of course you're gonna want Q-tips, which, are used for various different things, but disposables are so important. Okay, when it comes to washing brushes, I have two brushes here just to demonstrate. Honestly, every makeup artist should know this, but we're just gonna show you anyway. So I'm just gonna take my brush cleaner, and what I like to do is I like to just lay the brushes on a towel. Now you can use paper towel. I personally like to use a rag like this because of the texture. I feel like it really gets the brush clean. And in between every client, yes, in between every client, even bridesmaids, okay, you need to clean your brushes. Okay, that's just how it is. I know it's annoying, but you have to. So I'm just gonna take the brush cleaner and pour it on the brushes. And then just gonna swirl them around until they are clean. And then same thing with this brush, just swirl it around till it's nice and clean. And then once you get off the residue, I like to go to a dry spot and just wiggle it around just to kind of dry the brush off, but it should dry pretty instantly. So now you can see these are clean. But you're obviously not going to have time to do this in between every client. You're not going to have time to actually wipe your brush handles down with alcohol or some sort of sanitizing wipe. But after every gig or after every wedding, I do this because obviously there is a chance of bacteria and germs being on the brush handle. So I like to just wipe my brush handle down and really clean it to ensure that they're nice and clean. A lot of times my brush handles do get stained just because my hands usually have makeup on them. So when I'm touching them, they just get, stained. So obviously I like to do this just to make sure they look nice and clean. But if you don't have time in between each client to do that, which most people don't, I'll just take the alcohol and I'll just spritz the brush. This is just going to really ensure that it's clean, it's sanitary, and it's also going to clean. Even though you're not wiping down the handles at this point because you don't have time, at least the handles are being sprayed and sanitized. And also the alcohol is going to kind of speed up the drying process. Another little tip, if you guys have like a really jam-packed day, you have a ton of bridesmaids, maybe multiple brides, and you don't have time to really clean all of your brushes over and over again, something that really speeds up the process are brush cleaning wipes. So these are just wipes that you can use to clean your brushes. I just lay the wipe down. I will even put a little extra brush cleaner on the wipe just to ensure that it's really cleaning the brush. And you just kind of wipe the brushes onto the wipe, and it gets the brushes clean. And it's just a lot quicker than having to lay the brushes down, drizzle them with the brush cleaner, or dip them into the brush cleaner, then wipe them down. Like, it's just easier just to use the wipes sometimes. So if I'm rushing, I'll use these. You can even make your own versions of these. You can take some like thick paper towel, fold them up nicely, put them into like a pouch like this, or like a baby wipe pouch, and pour in your brush cleaner. And yeah, you can make your own version of brush cleaning wipes. Actually, go ahead and do my little trick with this. To my blush palette. So I'm just going to spray it again with alcohol. Again, you guys, just use 70% alcohol or use the sanitizing spray. I will list one down below if you've never heard of it before, you want to know a recommendation for one. I'll list one down below. Blush palette looks good as new. Okay, so the main points to take away from this video is making sure that you're actually spraying your products down with alcohol or a makeup sanitizing spray like the Beauty So Clean one. You're probably wondering, like, how do I sanitize concealers or something like that? I personally use liquid concealers, and what I'll do is I'll put the concealer onto a palette and apply with a brush to the person's face, or I will use a disposable lip gloss wand and dip that directly into the product, and then apply the product onto the face with the lip gloss wand. But if you're using like pot concealers or concealer palette, that's all creams. Again, you could just spray it with the sanitizing spray or the alcohol. You should not have to sanitize your mascara because you should be using disposables. So in terms of how often you should be cleaning your products, you should definitely be cleaning your brushes 120% in between each client. Any brushes you're going to be using on a new client should be clean. You should be using brush cleaner on them, a brush cleaner that also disinfects, and also spray them down with alcohol real quick. It takes 2 seconds to do that little extra step with spraying them down with alcohol. It just really ensures that the brushes are going to be actually clean and sanitary. As far as like wiping down the outside of products and stuff like that, obviously you don't have time to do that in between each client. So I do that after each day. So if I have a wedding that day, later on that day, I'll come home, I'll reorganize my kit, because usually it's a little bit messy because I'm just throwing things in and out. I'll reorganize my kit, I'll wipe everything down. I'll even wipe down the outside of my kit, like the stuff that I store it in. I'll use like a Lysol wipe, or even I got this little this mini to-go Lysol spray. I know these are like really hard to find right now, like a Lysol spray. I got this right before the stay-at-home order went into effect. So I have this, so you can just spray the outside of your kit or like the bags that you use just to make sure that those are clean as well. So yeah, as far as how often you should be wiping everything down, I would try to do it after every job. Obviously it may not be as thorough as like when you actually sit down and decide, okay, today I'm organizing and cleaning my kit. You know, it may just be like a quick run through with a wipe, just wiping your most used products down, but also wipe down those brush handles. And what else? Yeah, just like use common sense, you guys. If you are going to be touching somebody with something, make sure it's clean. Make sure that you wiped it down or you cleaned it in some way. So yeah, just make sure you have your hand sanitizer, make sure you have your Lysol wipes to wipe down your surfaces, your brush cleaner, your alcohol. I would even recommend doing the little pre-moistened alcohol towels like I did. Have a little spray like this that you can use. Have your disposables, that's so important, and never double dip. Just use a new one anytime you need to dip back into a product like mascara. Be careful, do your job, and make sure you're cleaning everything thoroughly. You know, I would say probably once a month, really sit down and deep clean your kit and just take everything out, wipe it. I know it sounds excessive, maybe it is, but with so many, like, you know, for example, coronavirus, the flu, like there's so many, there's so much bacteria out there, there's so much germs out there. It's so easy nowadays to pass different viruses and things on. It's so important to make sure that you're actually cleaning. You know, I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I would say once a month, really sit down, deep clean that kit, especially if you're in your busy season. Things can start to look a little messy, and that's okay. Just make sure you take a day every once in a while. It literally takes an hour. Just, you know, take everything out, wipe it down, and everything will look better. It will look more professional. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to say. As far as keeping things past the expiration date, if that's something that's a concern of yours, during my busy season, I go through products pretty fast, so I feel like nothing like goes bad really in my kit. I mean, of course, there's gonna be some products that you use that maybe over the 12 months or whatever, especially when it comes to powders. I just try and be conscious of that. Like, I know new products that are in my kit. I know products that have been in there for a while, and I just kind of use my judgment. If I feel like, okay, this has been in here for a while, I'll just throw it out, honestly, and I'll just buy a new one. You know, like I said, I try to be careful. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I am trying to collect different questions that I've been getting as far as being a freelance makeup artist. A couple of you guys have asked some really good questions, and I do plan on doing a Q&A and just answering all your questions. So leave any kind of questions down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.